When everything falls apart, you'd think it's gold or guns people would desperately grab for. Nope. It's the dirt cheap, everyday stuff. The boring, ordinary household items everyone takes for granted. You've walked past them in the store 100 times without a second thought. Guess what? When the shelves are empty and systems break down, those same $3 items will spark chaos. Shouting, pushing, full-on brawls, even over the simplest stuff you barely even noticed before. This isn't about fancy prepper gear or specialized survival tools. It's the basics. The unglamorous little things people can't live without that suddenly become priceless when society is in freefall. We're counting down 7 of these products. The ones you'll regret not grabbing when things get ugly. And hey, this isn't a fear fest. It's lessons learned, shared so you can be smarter about it. Got your own ideas? Drop them in the comments. When everything goes south, the only thing stronger than hoarding supplies is sharing knowledge. Stick around. You'll want to know exactly what's worth grabbing before the chaos starts. 1. Gallon jugs for clean water storage. When survival is on the line, clean water isn't just important, it's everything. And while most people focus on bottled water, they overlook the real game changer in a full-blown collapse. Empty food-grade gallon jugs with tight-sealing caps. Here's the blunt truth. Stacking up cases of bottled water might help short-term, but they're not a solution. Once the taps run dry or your emergency stash is gone, you'll need a way to gather, store, and transport water. Without proper containers, you're screwed. Think about it. Where's your next drink coming from? A rain cistern? A nearby stream? Aid trucks handing out supplies? Great! Now how are you carrying it home? FEMA drills this into every emergency response plan. Adequate water storage is key. Gallon jugs are lightweight, easy to carry, and just big enough to stash water for drinking, cooking, and hygiene without being unwieldy. Yet when disaster strikes, these cheap plastic containers vanish faster than you'd expect. Take Hurricane Harvey as an example. Fire stations and relief trucks provided water to thousands, but most people showed up unprepared, with no containers at all. Some grabbed trash cans and detergent bottles, both terrible ideas. They leak, they're unhygienic, and they put your health at risk. The folks who avoided this disaster? The ones who brought clean, sealable gallon jugs. And guess what? By the time the line started, stores were already wiped out of them. The real reason these containers trigger fights in stores? They're cheap, versatile, and invaluable. You can fill them before an outage, freeze them to keep food cold, or pack them down to collect and store fresh water. Running out of jugs during a crisis isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. If you're smart, you'll add a dozen or more gallon jugs to your emergency kit now. Seal them, label them for clean water use, and stash them where you can grab them fast. Without them, you'll be the one standing in line, hoping someone else comes prepared. Trust me, nobody's sharing when survival's at stake. 2. Bulk hand pump soap dispensers. Here's an underrated fact about survival. Dirty hands can kill you. Yeah, you heard that right. When disaster strikes, whether it's a blackout, flood, or any other catastrophe, hygiene is one of the first things to break down. And when that happens, sickness spreads fast. Norovirus, infections, foodborne illnesses, they all thrive when people stop washing their hands properly. That's why hand pump soap dispensers become a hot-ticket item when the shelves start clearing. These aren't the pretty little dispensers sitting on your bathroom counter. Forget about fancy scents or designer brands. We're talking about the cheap, clear plastic ones you can buy in bulk or refill with budget liquid soap. Normally, you don't think twice about them. But when water is scarce and soap supplies run out, these pumps become essential survival gear. You'll need a clean, controlled way to distribute soap, and bar soap or open containers just won't cut it. It's not just about getting clean. It's about staying ahead of disease in tight quarters or shared spaces. During Hurricane Katrina, unsanitary conditions in shelters led to massive illness outbreaks. Aid workers had to rig makeshift hand-washing stations out of buckets and soap tied to sticks. Do you really want to rely on that kind of improvisation? Hand pump dispensers are a simple, effective solution. They limit waste, prevent contamination, and make it easy to maintain hygiene under pressure. What sets these dispensers apart is their practicality. They're lightweight, refillable, and durable enough to last through months of heavy use. But when disaster strikes, they're the first item overlooked, right up until the moment people need them the most. By the time the panic starts, every store shelf has been stripped clean of both soap and dispensers. The takeaway: stock up now. Grab packs of empty dispensers or pre-filled ones and keep them in your survival stash. Mark them for emergency use only. When the collapse comes, you'll be glad you planned ahead, because there's nothing worse than fighting disease with dirty hands. 3. High-strength sealing tape. When disaster strikes and everything falls apart, it's not the massive failures that hit you first, it's the small cracks. Cold air seeps in, floodwater starts slipping through windows. Drafts swirl through broken vents. That's where sealing tape comes in. And trust me, this item will disappear fast from store shelves. This isn't your run-of-the-mill duct tape. High-strength sealing tape, like vapor barrier or foil tape, is designed to hold up under extreme conditions. It's water-resistant, heat-proof, and tough enough to patch air leaks, reinforce tarps, and seal cracks from the elements. It's not flashy or exciting, but during a crisis, it can mean the difference between keeping your home functional and letting chaos in. When the Texas freeze swept through in 2021, millions of people were left battling freezing temperatures with no power. While some tried to stuff windows and doors with makeshift materials like towels and cardboard, others used emergency sealing tape to insulate their homes. That simple step kept heat inside, turning bitterly cold homes into livable spaces. Stories like this highlight the tape's value, not as a convenience but as a survival tool. The real kicker? Hardware stores barely stock this stuff during normal times. It's used more by contractors than casual shoppers, so there's never enough to go around when emergencies hit. Add in the fact that it's pricier than regular tape, and you can bet fights will break out over those last few rolls once people realize how critical it is. A single roll of sealing tape can patch leaky windows, reinforce plastic barriers, or even repair cracks in water containers. It's lightweight, portable, and highly effective. The smart thing? Buy it before you need it. Once the shelves are wiped clean, it won't matter how much cash or barter items you have. Sealing tape becomes priceless. Throw a few rolls into your toolkit, your bug-out bag, and your emergency supplies. Label them for crisis use only and don't waste them. When everything else is falling apart, a simple roll of tape might be the thing holding it all together. 4. Heavy-duty canvas drop cloths, the survival multi-tool. If you want something that can do it all when the world crumbles, look no further than unprinted canvas drop cloths. The kind you've probably seen in the painting aisle and walked right past. In a collapse scenario, these durable fabric sheets are worth their weight in gold. Why? Because they're not just canvas. They're survival multi-tools. Unlike thin plastic tarps that rip in high winds or make a racket when moved, heavy-duty canvas is tough, breathable, and quiet. During disasters, they're used in dozens of ways. As sleeping mats, windbreaks, emergency curtains, or tent liners. Need cover for outdoor cooking or a solution for broken windows? Canvassed. Cramped shelter privacy? Canvassed. After hurricanes, earthquakes, and floods, emergency setups rely on materials like these. FEMA shelters use them for privacy partitions, sunlight blockers, and makeshift medical dividers. In bunkers or community shelters, having sturdy, versatile canvas is critical. These drop cloths disappear quickly because they solve so much with little effort. They're washable, reusable, and free of toxic fumes found in printed or treated fabrics. Plus, they insulate, trapping heat during freezing events like the Texas winter storm. Don't underestimate this cheap everyday item. Stock up while it's under $20. Easy to store and priceless in a crisis, it's a basic tool you'll wish you had when plastic tarps rip or newspapers on broken windows fail. 5. Oversized rubber plant pots, your secret utility container. Plant pots? Seriously? Hear me out. Those black rubber plant pots from garden centers might save your life in a collapse. They're more than just for plants. They're multi-purpose containers people will fight over when everything else is gone. 2 to 3 gallon pots are durable, lightweight, and shatterproof. They're game changers when buckets and storage options sell out. These pots handle heavy loads like soil, water, or bulk supplies. They're perfect for storing drinking water or dry goods like rice and beans. Need quick transport containers for aid? Check. In crises, they've been used for everything from carrying supplies to improvised cooking or hygiene stations. They're stackable, space-saving, and their drainage holes can be sealed with tape to hold liquids. Need to grow food without land? Convert balconies or patios into miniature gardens. During Venezuela's economic collapse, people used small-scale gardens like these to grow food for trading necessities. Rubber pots are overlooked until panic sets in. Stores don't stock many outside gardening season. When prepping, planning ahead is key. Grab a few now while they're ordinary, because in a true collapse, they'll become invaluable. 6 disposable cutlery packs, hygiene and sanity at your fingertips. When the system crashes and water stops running, the simple act of washing dishes turns from a minor chore into a major health hazard. No water, no soap, and no way to properly clean reusable utensils, now what? This is exactly why bulk plastic cutlery becomes a survival must-have in times of crisis. I'm not talking about fancy picnic sets or the good stuff. I'm talking about those cheap bundles of plastic forks, knives, and spoons that you barely notice at the store. During a collapse, when you're living on canned meals or rationed food supplies, these humble utensils do more than you'd think. First off, they cut down on cleaning entirely. With no running water, even one improperly washed plate or spoon could lead to bacterial outbreaks in confined spaces. And when you're crammed into shelters, cars, or temporary setups, the last thing you want is to introduce sickness into an already dire situation. Case in point, after Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, aid kitchens ran on disposable cutlery, feeding thousands of people every day. They used plastic utensils for the simple reason that they're one use, meaning zero chance for cross-contamination. Dirty, reusable utensils? They're a breeding ground for infections. Here's the kicker. It's not just their hygiene factor that makes them critical. Plastic cutlery solves problems nothing else can. From distributing food in bulk to managing rations efficiently in large groups, these items are a lifeline. Families that prepared early stocked up and avoided the chaos. Those who didn't, they found themselves fighting over party supplies and raiding catering leftovers. If you want to prep smart, here's what to do. Grab a few bulk packs of quality-grade plastic utensils. Seal them tight, store them in waterproof bags, and duct tape them shut to ensure they stay clean. Trust me, you don't want to wrestle someone over a plastic spoon when things hit the fan. 7. Sturdy metal storage cans, the unsung survival MVP. Think fast. What container will hold up when everything around you starts to break? Cheap plastic buckets? Maybe for a while, but they'll crack or melt under pressure. Glass jars? One drop and they're done. The answer, my friend, is metal storage cans. The rugged, versatile, and highly underrated survival powerhouse that most people overlook. These aren't your everyday kitchen containers. I'm talking about the kind of metal cans you'd find in hardware stores, typically made for paint or industrial liquids. Specifically, the 5-liter size with those snug, airtight lids. Right now, they're mundane and cheap, but when a crisis hits, their value skyrockets. Here's why they're indispensable. Metal doesn't fail when the elements test it. It doesn't crack in the cold, melt in the heat, or leak over time. Need to store fuel for emergency generators or kerosene for heat? These cans can do it safely. Need to keep bulk food supplies airtight and rodent-proof? These cans have you covered. There's more! After thorough cleaning and prep, these metal cans can even double as portable cookware over an open flame. They're perfect for containing sensitive items like medical supplies or high-value barter goods because their opaque structure keeps prying eyes out. They can't be crushed easily, and they block light, moisture, and pests better than any plastic alternative. Examples from real-life collapses show just how critical these become. When fuel rationing crushed Lebanon during its energy crisis, people lined up to trade metal cans just to safely carry their gasoline. You'll see the same thing in any region where desperation meets utility. Oil, rice, sugar, or even flour safely stored in these practically indestructible containers. Smart prepping means grabbing some of these now. They're not stocked in huge quantities at stores, but they're cheap and easy to grab while everything's still calm. Get a stack, keep them sealed and cleaned, and label them for specific purposes. You'll be the one holding something truly valuable while others are scrambling for containers that just can't hold up. 8. Durable plastic storage bags, simple yet critical. Disaster doesn't just bring chaos. It brings moisture, dirt, and loss. Durable plastic storage bags, like freezer-rated Ziploc and vacuum seal bags, shoot to the top of must-have lists for one simple reason. They protect what matters. When rain starts pouring through your roof or you're forced to pack up fast, these bags can save food, documents, clothes, and electronics from ruin. Survivors after major events like Hurricane Katrina swear by these bags. Their gear, paperwork, phones, and dry meals stayed safe while others watched essentials get destroyed by water and muck. The uses don't end there. Need to ration out supplies? Bags make it easy. Want to organize your kit? Sort everything from batteries to matches in clear view and waterproofed. Their low cost and easy storage make them a prepping no-brainer. Yet when store shelves are stripped during a crisis, they vanish fast. Stock up on a range of sizes now. You won't regret it when you're the only one with dry food and working chargers. 9. Emergency candles light in the darkness. Lose power in a true collapse, and you'll discover just how dark things really get, fast. Sure, flashlights help, but batteries vanish, and wind-up gadgets don't last forever. Emergency candles, designed for long burn times, give steady, reliable light when you can't count on anything electronic. In Venezuela's blackouts, candles were hoarded, traded, and sold for ridiculous prices. They let families cook, keep watch, and fend off the paralyzing effect of total darkness. Candles bring stability and even some comfort. A flickering flame breaks tension and keeps people calm. Prepping with candles is smart. Get different sizes, protect them in tins, and always have lighters or storm-proof matches on hand. Don't count on finding them at the last minute. A stash of candles could mean the difference between a safe night and a disaster waiting to happen. especially if kids, injuries, or chaos are in the mix. 10. Heavy-duty work gloves, hands down essential. In every collapse, the ultimate tools are your hands, but ruin them and the rest of your preps become worthless. Broken glass, sharp edges, andro work are everywhere after disaster. Heavy-duty cut-resistant work gloves protect you when there's no ER waiting to patch you up. These aren't garden gloves. They're built for clearing debris, carrying lumber, or setting up barricades. During events like Hurricane Sandy, those with proper gloves kept working. Everyone else risked cuts and infections. Work gloves don't just help in extreme tasks. They're vital for gathering firewood, fixing vehicles, or carrying heavy loads. Since most stores only stock a small supply, expect these to disappear instantly in any crisis. Fights will happen over the last few pairs, so buy ahead and stash extras in your kits and vehicles. Protect your hands, and you protect your chance to get through the crisis in one piece. 11. Manual coffee grinders. Caffeine is currency. In a societal collapse, caffeine isn't just a luxury, it's a lifeline. A steaming cup of coffee provides comfort, energy, and a sense of normalcy in chaotic times. Coffee can even become a barter item, making manual coffee grinders essential. Electric grinders? Useless without power. But a sturdy, hand-cranked grinder is invaluable. It lets you turn coffee beans into your daily pick-me-up or a tradable good. Whether you're rationing your stash or trading freshly ground coffee for supplies, a manual grinder transforms a simple habit into a survival tool. History shows the value of coffee when resources are scarce. During Venezuela's economic collapse, coffee became a black market commodity. Households with grinders coped better psychologically and used coffee as a bargaining chip. Similarly, in blackout scenarios, grinders allow you to prepare beans without electricity. But not all grinders are built for survival. Skip decorative models that can't handle heavy use. Instead, choose durable stainless steel versions with adjustable settings and a solid crank. Compact and portable, they're easy to stash in a bug-out bag or car. Why act now? When people wake up to no coffee and withdrawal headaches, they'll panic. Manual grinders are a niche item and store shelves won't meet the demand. Stock one now, maybe even an extra for trading. In desperate times, controlling the caffeine supply could mean controlling the mood. Don't wait until it's too late. Get a manual coffee grinder and stay ahead of the game. 12. Washboards, your new washing machine. When the water stops running or electricity cuts out, washing laundry becomes a serious challenge. That's when the old-school washboard, a simple slab with ribbed metal or plastic, becomes indispensable. Washing machines are useless without utilities, and makeshift hand washing is exhausting and inefficient. A washboard solves this by allowing you to scrub and wring clothes effectively with minimal water and effort, all while saving your hands from unnecessary strain. During long-term sheltering, staying clean isn't just about comfort, it's about health. Dirty clothes harbor sweat, dirt, and bacteria, which can lead to skin infections and make survival even tougher. Washboards, once outdated relics, become essential when modern appliances fail. Historically, they've been lifesavers in disaster zones. After the 2010 Haiti earthquake, aid groups distributed washboards and basins to displaced families, enabling them to maintain hygiene without infrastructure. In flood or hurricane-affected areas with rationed water, washboards remain the most practical solution for laundry. Why will people fight over them? Their simplicity. Durable, lightweight, and maintenance-free, washboards vanish quickly when people realize detergent pods and high-tech washing machines won't work anymore. With limited availability in most stores, they become a highly sought-after survival tool. To prepare, pair a quality washboard with a collapsible basin or sturdy buckets. Add biodegradable soap to your stash, and you'll be ready to tackle laundry while others struggle with rain-soaked piles of dirty clothes. 13. Cast iron skillets, cooking that lasts forever. When disaster strikes, modern cookware like non-stick pans becomes useless. Fragile coatings flake off, and lightweight aluminum can't handle the rugged conditions of survival cooking. Enter the cast iron skillet, a durable, versatile, and nearly indestructible piece of cookware that excels in any situation. Cast iron's durability is unmatched. You can drop it, scratch it, or toss it on an open fire and it'll still perform. In survival scenarios where cooking might involve campfires, outdoor grills, or makeshift stoves, this reliability is critical. Beyond durability, its versatility makes it indispensable. Frying, baking, roasting, cast iron can handle almost any cooking need, making it a go-to for survival groups and relief kitchens alike. Take the Indonesian tsunami in 2004, for example. Cooking equipment shortages left many survivors improvising with warped or damaged pots. Those with cast iron cookware maintained their ability to prepare meals, from stews to flatbreads, over rudimentary stoves. This resilience makes cast iron invaluable when proper tools are scarce. Why will cast iron skillets spark fights? They're no longer household staples. Retailers often focus on trendy non-stick pans, leaving cast iron in short supply. And since cast iron can last decades, people hoard them quickly, knowing replacements won't be available during a crisis. To prep wisely, buy a pre-seasoned skillet or season one yourself for non-stick cooking without fragile coatings. Consider adding a cast iron Dutch oven for stews and baking. With the right cast iron tools, you'll have reliable cookware that keeps you fed and calm, no matter what chaos surrounds you.